What's goody? Hey man, so earlier today, the president of basketball operations, basically the GM of the Toronto Raptors, Mr. Masai Ujiri, was fired. And before I get into my analysis of this and everything like that, and to give my opinions on this, the first thing I want to say is thank you to Masai. He has been such a crucial part of the Toronto Raptors, and I think that he has done a lot of good things for the organization, whether it be the Kawhi Leonard trade or just whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? I think he did a lot of things, and there was a lot of other smaller moves that he did that year, like getting Danny Green, getting Marc Gasol, a lot of things that he did um, that were also instrumental to that championship run and to who the Raptors ended up becoming. Besides just the Kawhi Leonard trade, I don't know if he drafted DeMar and Kyle Lowry. I don't honestly remember. But if he did, that was a crucial thing in Raptors history as well. But I know for a fact he drafted guys like Pascal, OG, Scotty Barnes, all of those things. So crucial, integral pieces to the Toronto Raptors, getting guys like Fred VanVleet, all these things. So he did a ton of good things for Toronto. And his tenure in Toronto is going to be something that I remember almost completely positively. I will never be able to I will never forget that 2019 championship and that championship run and that championship team. And everything like that, man. So, thank you to Masai Ujiri. Now, this firing was interesting to me, and the main reason that this was a firing that I didn't really expect right now was because the draft just happened. I don't understand why you let your GM go through the draft where you have the ninth pick, go through the draft and pick a guy that he wanted if you were going to fire him the day after the draft. Because if you're going to start a new era, if you're going to bring in a new GM, wouldn't you want that new GM to start before the draft so that way he can draft guys that he likes, that he wants to fit the identity of the team that he wants to implement? Wouldn't you want that guy to be able to get prospects that he loves, not have to come into the organization and work with prospects that the previous era, the previous administration loved? So I just don't get that. However, there's only one real reason that I could think the Raptors did this, and this would, to me, what I'm thinking had to have gone down is the draft was kind of the last straw that led to Masai getting fired. That's really the only thing I could think of, because it's like maybe either Masai knew he was on his last legs before the draft, and that's why he went out there and got a Colin Murray Boyles, because he wanted to get somebody that maybe had a lot of upside and wasn't going to be, I don't know, because I don't even think he has that much upside, but like, I guess the pipe dream of him ever getting a 3-point shot is something that, we always fall in love with prospects. Is like, well, if they're missing that one thing is the three, we just pray that they can develop it. So maybe that's what it was. He just wanted to draft a guy with the upside. He wanted to take a swing before he went out. But so either A, he knew he was on his last legs before the draft, and that's why he drafted Colin Murray Boyles instead of a guy like Malawach, instead of a guy like Carter Bryant, who we think are more suited for NBA play. Maybe he just thought Colin Murray Boyles had a higher ceiling than those guys, which I don't believe, but maybe that's what he was thinking. Or he just genuinely wanted Colin Murray Boyles, whether he knew he was on his last legs or not. Maybe he thought his job was pretty secure. Maybe he didn't know he was going to get fired, or maybe he at least didn't think he was that close to being fired, and so he drafted a guy that he really loved. Maybe it's just that simple. So either Toronto ownership told him he was on his last legs before the draft, and then they didn't like the Colin Murray Boyles pick, so they fired him after, or he didn't know he was on his last legs, and he drafted Colin Murray Boyles just thinking that was a guy that he loved, a guy that he would love to have on the team, and then upper management didn't love it, and they fired him. Either way, I just don't get it, because if you're that close with the GM saying you're on your last legs, if you have to say that and you already aren't liking the direction of the team, which I personally am not in love with the direction of the team this year, even though I do believe that this is a year that the Toronto Raptors could jump up in the standings just because of how weak the East is, how injured the East is, and everything like that. I just don't love the direction of this team. I just don't get the timing of the move, because it's like, if I'm on my last legs with the GM and I'm going into a year where we think we're going to be able to jump up in next year's draft, or we think we're going to be able to jump up in next year's standings, which would mean that next year we would not have a pick that is a lottery pick, or for damn sure not a top 10 pick like we did this year. If I already know I'm on my last legs with that GM, I'm going to say, okay, listen, we appreciate everything you've done with us. We don't love the direction of the team. We don't love the plan you have, or we don't think you have a plan at all. I'm gonna let you go before the draft. We want to bring in a guy, and we want that guy to be able to pick his own roster. We want him to be able to draft whoever he wants with this identity, because we don't think that we're going to have as good of a pick next year. If you're already on your last legs with the GM, and the Colin Murray Boyles pick is all it took to send you over the edge, you should have fired him before the draft. Now, I think the Colin Murray Boyles pick was in the lottery my second least favorite pick. The only pick that I liked in the lottery less than this one was the Igor Dimin. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but yeah, that pick by the Brooklyn Nets. I thought that pick was terrible. Other than that, I hated the Colin Murray Boyles pick. But like, if that was all it took for management to fire him, to send him over the edge to fire Masai, you should have just fired him before the draft, and you should have let the new guy come in and get whoever he wanted. Now, I don't want to say that I don't understand the firing, because I do. I just don't understand the timing of the firing. But I understand the firing, because it's like, okay, all rumblings are RJ Barrett was going to get traded, and I feel like if you let him go through the draft, you should have waited until to see what he could have gotten for RJ Barrett. But there are some recent trades that he did that I don't love, right? Like, Emmanuel Quickley is a good NBA player. RJ Barrett did some great things for the city. I don't mind that OG trade to New York. I don't mind what we got in return for that, especially if the RJ Barrett trade that everybody's assuming will happen ends up being a good return, especially because he just had a really good year. So I don't hate that. But the Pascal trade to Indiana was one that I did not like. I believe we got one first-round pick in that deal. I'm not 100% sure. Let me go look that up, actually. But I believe we got one first-round pick in that deal. To get Bruce Brown, and let me see who else we got in that trade. Pascal trade. Let's see who it was. Can my Wi-Fi work? Like, what are we doing, guys? Pascal trade. Okay. So they got Bruce Brown, Jordan Nwora, and 3 first-round picks. I don't remember the 3 first-round picks. What were the picks? 2 of the first-rounders were for 2024. It was Indiana's own selection. That's why I don't remember, because it wasn't any great picks. And then the third is a 2026 from Indiana. Now that 2026 pick to Indiana could be very good because Tyrese Halliburton's injured. So I love that. But I don't love the 2 players you're getting being Jordan Nwora and Bruce Brown. Brother, at the time, I get Bruce Brown had a good amount more value than he has right now. But Bruce Brown hasn't played basketball for 2 years. I don't have a single memory of anything Bruce Brown ever did on the court for the Toronto Raptors. So I didn't love that trade. Now, I do think that I like it a little more just because the Indiana pick for next year is probably going to be super valuable. But at the time, he didn't know that. It wasn't going to look like that, especially when that team was getting Pascal Siakam. I wasn't thinking at the time, and I don't think anybody was, that pick would be of anything of value. And then we see them that very year go to the conference finals, and then the next year go to the NBA championship. Like, we didn't love that. You know what I'm saying? So while that final pick from that trade is going to end up being very valuable, I didn't love that. Now, and it just the recent moves that Masai Ujiri have made, I haven't loved that either, right? Like the Brandon Ingram trade, I just thought was weird because it's like, what is the plan with the Brandon Ingram move? Like, Brandon Ingram's a guy that I believe, I don't remember, I think we re-signed him, or we extended him or something, I want to say, but maybe we didn't. Yeah, but we give up Bruce Brown, who, thank God we were able to get off of Bruce Brown. And then, no, was that 2026 pick? Is that the Pacers pick? We sent a 2026 pick to New Orleans in this trade. What's the pick? Please tell me what the pick is. What 2026 pick did the Raptors give to the Pelicans? Because if it's the Indiana pick, man. Oh, if it's the Indiana pick, that is going to be tough. But anyways, that was a trade that, I didn't hate the players we gave up, even though Kelly Olynyk has done some good things he did some good things in his year, or less than a year, for the Pelicans, and he ended up increasing his value there, I do believe. But I didn't hate that trade. It's just I don't get the plan of it, because it's we didn't need another wing guy. So I don't understand really the purpose of getting him, and then especially not if you're going to draft Colin Murray Boyles in the draft. And if you're going to get a wing, stupid. But if you're going to get one, go get Carter Bryant. We have seen for the last couple of years that getting a wing that is a 2-way wing, a 3-and-D wing, is one of the most important components to winning a championship. Colin Murray Boyles was probably the best defender in the draft, but he can't shoot the ball. And those guys have the Jared Vanderbilts, those type of guys, you can play them off the court because they give you so little offensively, man. And I just want to see if this, before we end this video off, I just want to see if this pick is valuable. You know what I'm saying? If that is the Indiana pick that we gave up. Because if it is, it's the Pacers pick. Oh my goodness. So that pick that we got, oh, Masai, yeah, man, I'm not going to lie. It was probably, yeah, it was Raps for you. Now, again, at the time, that pick didn't look like it was going to have any value at all because we didn't know about the Tyrese Halliburton injury, but that just sucks. Because I remember, I was like, damn, do we have that Pacers pick? Oh my goodness! Because I feel like I feel like I remember the Pelicans trading away that Pacers pick to, who was it? The Wizards or something? I feel like when they traded up to get you know who I'm talking about. When they traded Derek Queen, when they traded up to get Derek Queen, I feel like they traded that pick. Dude, the Pacers. Anyways, man, I don't really the only mixed feelings I have about that firing of Masai Ujiri was that I didn't like the timing of it, but man, I do think his time in Toronto was up. I did not like the direction of the team. I have not liked the last few moves that he has done. And I just didn't see any plan with the team. I'm interested to see if RJ Barrett still gets traded under this new regime. I'm interested to see if any other players get traded under this new regime. Because, like, a sneak guy that I could see them trading would be Scotty Barnes, just because, like, I don't know. I just could see it. Like, I don't really have a reason to say I could see them trading Scotty Barnes, but I just kind of could see it. And Emmanuel quickly too. Anyways, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching. Let me know what y'all think about the firing of Masai Ujiri. This video ended up being longer than I wanted it to be because I should have done that research about the picks beforehand. That's on me. But yeah, man, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you liked it. Again, let me know your thoughts on the firing. Let me know if y'all like the direction of the Raptors or not, and let me know if y'all just what y'all think about the timing of the firing specifically. All glory to God as always. Thank you for watching, man. God loves you and so do I. All right, peace out.